festivals the upcoming year. We're trying to give a part to everybody that tries out or that presents. It's not a tryout. It's a worship service, but we try to give a role to everybody that presents.
That once.
That wants a role. Yeah, that wants a role. Because we like people to be able to participate. When you were invoking, my name is Lady Belladonna Laveau. I'm the Archpriestess of the Aquarian Tabernacle Church. Hi, it's good to be here. So when you're invoking, that is an act of worship in Wicca. Invocation and evocation are two very similar words. Evocation is when you invoke or you bring spirit. You can't use a word to define itself, Bella. You bring spirit into the space, right? Into the room. But when you invoke, you bring spirit into you and allow yourself to be the hands and the voice and the body, the vessel of deity, so that they can communicate to their children on earth. And that is a skill that grows over time. So I'm going to do an example of an evocation so that you can feel it. And then we're going to talk a little more about invocation, and then we're all going to practice. Okay? All right, so evocation. Great Mother Hecate, goddess of all faces, goddess of every living being, Titaness, creatrix, she who is the beginning and the end. We call upon you to manifest within yourself the many faces of deity that we know by many names into this space. And be amongst your children, and let us all feel your touch and know that we're here. Let our hearts be blended in love and hope for a better future. Let our spirits come together to create community and to uplift each other, to reconnect with our church and our tribe and our land. Be here with us today, that we feel each other's love and energy, and we blend it with our own, and we feel a part of a bigger thing. We feel a part of your temple, a part of this earth, a part of a greater community, all striving for the same thing. We are grateful for your presence with us today. Thank you for joining us. Did you feel it? Yeah? Okay. So, invocation. There are different ways to do invocation. A lot of it is just energetics, a lot of it is breathing, and a lot of it is intention. And so you've got all of these three streams of consciousness that you're maintaining at once, and it creates a space for you to be the vessel of deity. And until you experience it, you don't really understand it, and that's why we talk about Wicca is an experiential experience, right? Like it's an experiential religion. Sorry. So, in order to bring that inside of yourself and know that it's there, and be able to feel at one with deity, and be able to glean knowledge that is you didn't have before, just through being taught inside your own mind, right? That is a way of worship that helps lift us up to greater levels of consciousness. So one of the ways we do it is with breathing. So I'm going to teach you a breathing method, and I want you to do the breathing with me. This is called diaphragmatic breathing. You breathe from your diaphragm, okay? So you might have to like kick yourself out to the edge of your chair a little bit so that you can access your diaphragm and lean back. You're doing it. Yeah, be the example. Yeah, be the example. Britta's going to show you. Now, if you could possibly, you want to hold your feet with your heels straight up. Don't let your feet splay out. You want to put your hands beside you. But while you're practicing, you put one hand on your diaphragm And then when you've got it, you can put that hand back down, right? Okay, so you're going to breathe into the count of 8, hold to the count of 8, release to the count of 8, hold to the count of 8, breathe back in, right? This is called 4 square breathing. As you're breathing in and you're holding the breath, you're going to notice your throat closing to make it easier to contain the breath. You don't want to do that. You want to leave your throat open. Use your diaphragm to hold the breath in, and use your diaphragm to hold the breath out. Do not close off your... if you're not going to do it, it's okay.
No, I am.
Yeah. Do not close off your throat. You're wanting to create an empty space within your body. And then once you feel that empty space, you invite spirit to join you. But you got to feel that empty space first, where you're breathing in and holding it for 8, and then breathing out, holding it for 8 counts, each square of your breath. And then, as you're noticing that it's 4 squares, allow it to be a circle, where you rise up on the breath and you crest the top of the circle, and then you fall down in the breath and you rest at the bottom of the circle. Allow your breath to be circular. Stay focused on your counting. When you are counting and focused on the breathing, you are accessing both parts of your brain, and this is creating a greater consciousness. Breathe deep. Pay attention to keeping your throat open. And then invite deity to come in. And then listen. Come on back to me. For the sake of this workshop, I'm teaching you how, but I don't have the time for you to spend 45 minutes off on your journey, and that is what will happen. So I want you to take this to your private spaces and do it, and lay there and listen. And remember that prayer is when you talk to God, Goddess, Spirit, the universe. Meditation is when it speaks back to you, and your job is to breathe. Stay open. Allow it to join you in your space. And then write everything that it said down after you're done, because you'll forget it, okay? All right? Now the second way, which is more common to witchcraft, is called drawing down the moon. Drawing down the moon is literally you reach up, you grab your chakra that's right up here. No, I'm going to talk about it first. And then you make it bigger and you pull it down and you step into your higher self. Why do we do this? Okay, so I call this like the wormhole to God. There's 7 chakras in our body, and then there's an 8th one, and it's right here. It's called the transpersonal point. Does everybody get the wormhole analogy? Right? It's like the fast track to deity. Well, you know, they talk about your higher self. See, the angels are like, yeah, she's dead on.
Yeah.
That's what she's talking about. This was the podcast. And then we decided that it was the angels were trying to Did I bring down water? I thought I brought down water.
I've got
No,
coffee.
I didn't bring it out here. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so drawing down the moon is a witch's term. There's a lot of different ways that people have said that it's been done. There's a spell where you take a metal bowl and you catch the moon in the metal bowl. I think you put water in it, flicker the moon into the priestess's eyes, creating a hypnotic effect. I don't know, I've never tried it, but there's a lot of different ways. There's a lot of different ways that people have talked about drawing down the moon. In Wicca, we do it kind of a certain way, and you'll see the women with their arms above their head. That's what you're looking at, is that they're getting ready to draw down the moon. When you're drawing down, you want to request the presence of whatever deity you're working with. I don't really recommend that you don't define the deity, even if it's like the Great Mother or the All-Father or something like that. It's better to define a deity that you just, whatever. Because I have seen people be like, what? And then we have to go jerk whatever they called in out of them. And, so I don't think anything can really bad would happen, but it could. So define who you're bringing in. I know a girl that invoked Kali and didn't know anything about it, and then, excuse me, I think a bug got me. And then she spent like the next 7 hours in her living room listening to the goddess Kali have her way with straightening out her life. So you also want to know who you're calling, and you want to have a reason why. Because, have you ever got a phone call where you're like, I'm just bored, so I thought I'd just call and see what you had to say. You ever had one of those phone calls? You're like, I'm sorry, I'm not your entertainment, right? Now, call and check up on my life, call and let's have a conversation, call and ask me to help you. I'm here for that, right? But you want somebody to have a reason to talk to you. So have a reason. Know who you're calling, right? Research them, read their stories, know what they're good for. You don't want to, like, you wouldn't call a doctor to come fix your car, right? You want to know what they're good for, what they're good at. Because some gods are notoriously bad at some things, right? They're not all 100% omnipotent, can do anything. Some of them are really good at opening locks. Some of them are locked down. There's different things. So know them. So when you're going to invoke, you reach out and you call to your deity 3 different ways, right? So if you know them, you can come up with 3 things that they're good of, such as Aphrodite.
Goddess of love and beauty and sexuality.
There she goes. Okay, Zeus.
God of order, God of social orders, and King of the Gods.
King of the Gods,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, Bridget.
Situations,
Bree.
that's the word I was looking for.
Goddess of the forge, goddess of poetry, and the goddess of the well.
Right. Persephone.
Oh. A goddess of change, goddess of rebirth, and goddess of
The underworld.
The underworld. Sorry, I'm stressed.
On the spot, go.
There's a cool chair over here if you want to come sit in it.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah, come sit over here. Sit in my llama chair.
I recommend the llama chair.
Okay, so you hear how they're saying goddess of this, god of that. They're given titles and maybe even vocations, right? Hermes, god of communication, trickster. Or maybe you don't want the trickster. Hermes, god of communication, god of commerce, right? You want to dial in, what do you want? And then having thought of what you want to know. What do you want to know? I mean, if you were going to ask spirit something, what do you want to know? They always say, if you could talk to anybody on this planet, living or dead, if you could have dinner with them, who would you have dinner with? And I always think, well, I would have dinner with Jesus and think, what the heck do you think about what's going on today? And how did we get here so we could not do this again, right? Like, wouldn't that be crazy?
Was this your plan?
Was this really your plan? You know, were you thinking this through? What happened? Where did we make a wrong turn? So, Think about it. You got it? You got it? You ready to give it a try? Okay, now it doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be big. It could be something like very small. You don't have to come up with some great existential, gonna make you cry kind of thing. We're practicing, right? So, where in the heck did I leave my ID? You know, like you can ask anything. It doesn't have to be big, right? And then everybody picked a deity that you want to reach out to. Does anybody need help with that? Okay. All right. So if you feel comfortable doing this, if you don't feel comfortable doing it, don't do it. Some of you have done it before, right? So you can watch, you can try it, you can throw it all in. Either way. So stand up with me. And you want to spread your feet out about shoulder width apart. Make sure you're on good solid ground. Maybe a little bit wider stance if that's what you feel like. You want to bend your knees. You want to tuck your tailbone in so you've kind of got like a flattened back. And hold your shoulders back. Hold your shoulders back. Straight, tall, reach up to the sky. Reach all the way up to the sky, all the way up, and grab the moon. Envision yourself grabbing the moon. Or maybe you want to grab the sun, or Mercury, or Venus, Jupiter, or some other planet. Envision that in your hands. And then start making it bigger. Put more energy into it. Now, as you're doing this, I want you to pay attention to the fact that you've got your knees bent. You're grounded. You're grounded. Out your tailbone all the way to the center of the earth. You're grounded. You've got all of this energy flooding up, flooding in. Open your arms. Allow your hands to get heavy and push them all the way down to your side as this ball gets bigger and bigger and bigger and descends down upon you. Welcome, lords and ladies. Welcome, lords and ladies. So ask your deity what they have to share with you. Listen to the inner voices. Express gratitude and worship if appropriate. Breathe into this space. Breathe. Allow yourself to feel that tingling energy. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to get rid to let go, okay? So you cross your arms. Say thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming and being here with us. Thank you for sharing your energy and your light, your love, your wisdom. And then I want you to make your fingers really long and pull that out. Step back and let go. Step back and let go. Cool? Yes? Powerful experience? Yeah? Okay. Good, good. So you can use this exercise anytime you're feeling like you are alone, lonely, you need more power, you need uplifted, you need to worship, you need to express gratitude, you need to, you know how in the Matrix they're like, download me a program so I can fly a helicopter, you know? So I kind of do it like that too. Like, I want to learn this thing, help me learn this thing. I want to be healed, heal me here. I need this, right? And so, what I draw down, I ask what's standing in my way, I ask what I need to change to achieve my goals, right? And then I go in that direction, you know? If I have a conflict, okay, what have I done wrong here? Where did I mess up? Somebody, who's going to talk to me? Somebody. somebody, usually dressed in black from head to toe with a big veil long ago. You know which. You really gonna call me down here for this? Right. So, yes.
If we're having trouble devoking, what are ideas to help us?
Oh, that's a really good question. So if you're having trouble devoking, just rub your ears. Just rub your ears. If you know that somebody else is having trouble devoking, just rub their ears. There's all these pressure points in the ears, and they'll bring you right back into your body. Also, you can eat. Some deities you can drink. Some it'll make them worse. So you know what you get into, right? You give Dionysus wine, he's getting further into control. If you give Kali beer, she'll calm right the heck down. Demeter too. Demeter likes wine, but she'll drink beer. I mean, Demeter likes beer, but she'll drink wine. And the beer will calm her down and the wine won't. Yeah. So, know what you're getting into. And then food. Food. One time I got a story. Got to tell the story about Dionysus and the...
Oh yeah.
Okay, so one time, Dusty's patron
But
is
you gotta tell
Dionysus.
like the whole like.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Okay.
Dusty's patron is Dionysus. And so we're doing this Dionysus celebration ritual at Hecate's sickle, which is coming up in 12 weeks. Is it 12 weeks?
Do
Is
not
it-
use weeks with me. Oh my god.
Maybe, yeah, something like that. It's October 6th, 7th, and 8th. And
12 weeks.
sickle.atcwicca.org, right? We were at Sickle, and Dusty's invoked as Dionysus. And we're doing the Dionysus story where you time to the mast, right? And then the dolphins come. And so we're doing the time to the mast thing. And he says for everybody to give him the last bits of the wine that they had drank in this meditation where it turns your wine into the wine of your life. It's called the Wine of Life, which is really cool. Dusty wrote it years ago. It's really awesome. But he was thinking he was getting the little bit of people's what was left wine, and he didn't know that a bunch of people, including Daryl and just a bunch of people, had brought in
Including
wine.
Daryl. Also Daryl.
And people had brought in wine, and we didn't know. And so everybody had these full cups of wine. And so we had Dusty tied to Dionysus, Dusty tied to the mast. And these maenads were bringing out things of grapes and dumping them at his feet. He was in his kiddie pool, right? And dumping them at his feet. And then people had full bottles of wine, Daryl. And full glasses of wine. And he's like, let me have the last sips of your life. And so they all bring all of these grapes and all of this wine, and they start drowning him and shoving grapes in him and pouring in wine. And he's like, oh my God. And so for a minute, Dusty asphyxiated. And then Dionysus came, and that was not planned. Dionysus came out and just roared, right? And it was...
All of the stuff that was lodged in my esophagus.
it was spewing out. And yeah, it was intense. We had drums going. The energy was really, really high. It was really awesome. And then Dusty was gone. And Dionysus was there. And I grabbed Dusty at one point, and he turned around and looked at me, and I went, oh, shit.
Look at eyes, look back.
Because there was no Dusty. It was just these glowy eyes of Dionysus. And so I tried to calm him down. I tried to devoke him a little bit. It was not happening. And we had to go do something. And he gets in the car with me, and I'm like, you need to devoke. And Dionysus turns around and looks at me, and he goes, good luck, baby. And I went, oh, challenge accepted. Challenge accepted. So we go down to the Waterway House, which is where the Archpriestess cabin is. And we have food in there. There's a kitchen. And so I set Dusty down, Dionysus, and I give him ham. And was it wine or something? No, ham and beer. Or ham and maybe it was Coke. I don't know, something to drink. And Dionysus starts eating, and I'm watching him. Dusty's sitting there and he's eating the ham, and he sits back up and he looks at me and he says, "Oh man, this was a great idea. This is just like spiragmos. I feel so much better."
Does everyone know what spiragmos is?
Yes, spiragmos is.
Spiragmos is specific and unique to Dionysus worship. His worshippers believed that when they would go out into the woods and kill a bull or a pig or a goat with their bare hands, yes, bull was one of those things.
Yeah, but any
but
hoofed animal.
if they then sat and ate it, that Dionysus came and sat inside of them and ate with them. So it was experiential. He sat with you. You didn't worship Dionysus from outside. You worshipped him right sitting inside of you. So.
Yeah. So the ham brought him out of it.
Yeah, he was sated.
Yeah, he was like, "All right, I'm done." It was fun. I'll give you your person back. So yeah.
He hasn't invoked me for a decade. I was just partying. Yeah.
Yeah. So different things will bring you out of it, but eating and rubbing your ears.
Knowing the God,
Yeah.
like you said earlier, because if you didn't know about spiragmos, you wouldn't have
You
gone,
need to know,
I need to give him
you
some
need
meat.
to know what they like. You need to know what their favorite drinks are. If you don't know, you can ask Anna. She knows.
So like if you give Thor a severed goat's head, he's gonna be like, "Oh, make new goat." But if you give Shango, who's also a lightning god, a severed goat head, he will be so mad he will smite
make war
you.
with you. Yeah, he'll make
Like,
war with
and
you. So you
they're-
gotta know the difference.
They seem very similar with their double-headed axe, double-headed hammer, lightning gods who are super sexy and gods of men. Hey, wait a minute. Something there. Because they're ancestor gods as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, see, this is how we learn. This is how we learn. People say, "Okay, so how do you know about the modern gods?" Well, this is how we learn. We invoke them, and they say, "That story's not quite right. This is actually what happened." And then we have personal gnosis. So there's some religions where you have faith, right? You're like, "I believe whatever it is that I've been told to believe. Whatever it is my church teaches, that's what I believe. That's what I have faith. I've read the book, right? I've prayed about it. I have faith in that." And faith is strong. You need faith. Faith is powerful. Because you can't do witchcraft without faith either. Once you send that spell out, you just have to believe it's going to manifest. If you think bad things are going to happen to you, they will. If you think good things are going to happen to you, they will. Right? You get to define your reality. That's one of the beautiful things about witchcraft. So you need faith. But knowledge that the deity is there, knowledge that they've talked to you, that they've told you something, that nobody else can take that away from you. Right? It doesn't matter what anybody says. You know it. I drove around in a car for 3 months with Demeter one year, and I wanted to think that I was crazy and that it was going to be, over with. But she talked to me and Dusty the whole time, and there's no way in my heart and soul that I can ever deny that existed to me, because it was such a huge deal, right? When deity speaks to you, in your head, you hear it. It's not you talking. They tell you things you didn't know. You come away with it going, "Oh my God, I want to go tell everybody this." But really what you should do is write it down, because it's not for everybody, it's for you. It's for you. It's your own personal gnosis. And you can share it if you want to. Sometimes when we share our pearls with the wrong people, it cheapens it. So make sure that you share it with the right people. Keep it sacred. Right? Share it with people who will appreciate what you're talking about.
You explained that one time in a way that really helped me get it. And you said, if I have a deep realization of the universe that that touches me, and I run to you and I try to explain it to you, and you aren't at the same level as me and can't understand it,
Or
it
in this bias.
it and you go, oh, I don't know, I guess so, or well, yeah, everybody knows that, or doesn't connect on your level. It cheapens it inside of you, and it makes you think it wasn't a sacred thing that happened, and so that really helped me get it.
Yeah.
If you share it with someone who gets it, you both fill each other's cup up with it. But if you give it to someone who doesn't get it, you just gave them half of what you had and they didn't appreciate it, and you drained your own.
Yeah. It's weird like that. It makes you go, oh my God, it's such a big deal. I thought it was a big deal, but now that I say it out loud, I guess it wasn't that big of a deal. And there's this other thing that God has told me once. She was like, okay, so this is what it's like to deal with humans. Hello, beautiful daughter. I'm so glad to see you. How are you doing today? I have a very important message for you. And daughter goes, oh my God, I think God is talking to me. Is this really happening? Oh, are you God? Why would you talk to me? Oh my gosh, why me? Why me? Is this really happening? And that's every time you talk to humans, that's what she has to get through in order to, is this real? Is this real? Because we've been taught to believe it's not real. It is very real. You gotta just delete that part of the program, right? As soon as you start doing that, stop and listen and get the beauty and the experience that Goddess wants you to have. She wants you to know her. Like, that's one of the things that she has told me over and over this last year, is that she wants you to know her, every person. Like that, this isn't something that's just pagan. All of the people are her children, and she wants us all to have that direct connection with her, so that you don't have to be told by other people. You can be self-directed. There was a time in human consciousness, we've been reading here lately, where we all had that connection, and then it went away, and our brain is different now because of it. Physiologically, our brain is different now because of it. It operates differently. But when you start massaging these connections, then you regrow that ability, and it changes your brain chemistry. Right?
That's another reason to write it down, because it helps those pathways grow.
Yeah. So when you write it down, you re-experience it, you write it, you're seeing it, you're reading it back to yourself.
And younger generations can read it when they are younger, and their synapses are being created initially, and that changes the brain.
Yes.
For your whole life.
Yeah. So there's a lot of really good reasons why you would want to do this and how you can use it.
The hummingbirds are going insane.
And what we're doing at Sickle is we are reawakening and reconnecting everybody with this experience, where everybody has this within themselves, and they can connect to deity themselves, and that will change everybody's ability to have compassion and empathy and understanding, tolerance, right? Be able to live together in a world of love and joy and happiness, where people can just raise their families in the best possible way, get the best possible health care, have a government that is not corrupt, have a class system where people are not marginalized. There's not, just a handful of people with everything, and then the rest of us are fighting over crumbs, right? Have a world where everybody can be victorious, as Nike spoke of earlier today, because we all are winners, right? So thank you so much for enjoying this with me today. I hope you had some fun. I hope you learned something. I hope you got some deep messages from Spirit. So I'm going to encourage you to practice this on your own, because the more you do it, the deeper the messages go. Thank you. You honor me with your attention.